welcome to the newspaper review. My name is Williams Abule. I'm really excited to have you join me here today, being the 6th day of July 2022. Yes, I want to thank you very much for staying with us all through this period of time. You know, time in, time out, you always join us on this channel on the newspaper review. That means a lot to us. Thank you so much. And with me this morning to do this program will be Natasha Brown. You are welcome. So nice to have you today.
Thank you.
All right. So we'll be going through the newspaper headlines together, but that will be right after this break. Don't forget that you can also be a part of this program. How do you do that? You need to first subscribe to this channel. Click on the subscribe button. Don't also forget to click on the notification key. That helps you to get notified whenever we come up with all our interesting programs here on TAF TV. So do that to stay connected. But like I told you, we'll get into the details of the newspaper right after this short break. You stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Atiku impending graduation at UK University delaying reconciliation with Wike. That story you find on page 49 of Tuesday newspaper if you need to get details, that is. All right, moving on, we see also Okowa. I got second best result in 1976 in WASC as Obi. Baba Ahmed moved to seal ticket. Delta governors appeals to federal government to resolve ASU's prolonged strike. Cracks in universities union as UNIMAD medical lecturers pull out. Cracks in universities union as UNIMAD medical lecturers pull out. All right, we need to get details of all of that. You go on to page 49 of this day newspaper. That's where you see the details of that story. All right, moving on. As the major headline on this day newspaper here, we see few dead, 2 injured as bandits attack Buhari's convoy en route Daura. Incident is sad, unwelcome, says presidency. Bandits kill assistant police commissioner in Katsina as gunmen hit Kuje prison. And lastly, at the bottom part of that paper, we see there, in grave blow to Boris Johnson, 2 UK ministers resign. Details of that you find on page 10 of the Tuesday newspaper. All right, Ms. Natasha, let me come to you. I find, the headline, the major headline on this day newspaper as a very disturbing one. The headline I'm referring to is that of the attack on the presidential convoy. It seemed to me as if these bandits have grown so bold and so powerful enough to want to attack the presidential convoy. What's your reaction to that story?
I think right now it's almost like what almost every Nigerian is saying. Our national security has been breached.
Yeah.
For the fact that they are now bold enough to attack the presidential convoy, it's that scary. We know that initially the other time he went to Katsina State, immediately he left.
Yeah.
There was a bomb blast, there
Yes.
was kidnapping and all of that. We thought that that was the least that could happen, but now his own convoy, the number 1 citizen of Nigeria, his convoy has been breached. That is a scary thought.
It is.
We are beginning to really, initially it seemed like, okay, it was just terrorism among with the citizenry, capture citizens and all of that. But now the number 1 citizen that is meant to be the symbol,
The most protected, yeah.
has been his convoy has been breached and all of that. So it's a scary thing that we're at. I hope that the Nigerian army, the Air Force, and all of the other forces, they actually wake up to the fact that we're in a dire situation.
Yeah.
And if it tips over beyond this, that means you and I are not. In fact, not even talking about, it's already tipped.
Yeah.
Because if the presidential, the number one candidate of, citizen of this great nation actually can experience this insecurity, how much me and you?
Yeah.
I don't have personal security with me. I don't even have license to a gun. So it is a scary time that we're in. And obviously, apart from that, we see all that is happening right now with the whole Kuje prison thing where over 1,000 people were freed with all that breach. And then it's recorded that over 150 certified members were let loose. So imagine what's actually going on. And now this is actually in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. It is really scary times that we live in. And I don't know if at this time, almost every Nigerian has lost faith in the security forces. Because people are saying, if one little person goes on Twitter and posts something that is derogatory to the presidency, before you wake up at 6 a.m., DSS is at your door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now, these are people that probably are not even on Twitter, but they have this boldness, this audacity to attack the convoy of the presidency. I think I do not know where we go ahead from this. My only hope right now for me as an individual here in Nigeria is for the next crop of persons that will lead this country. That's why get your PVC. Put your values in place. Look at the person that can be able to take care of tackle security without bias to religion, without bias to tribalism and all of that. I mean, it's horrible at this point in time.
Natasha, I totally agree with you.
And I don't think the president has even commented yet.
No,
about this whole thing.
I haven't heard any statement from the presidency, although they feel very saddened at the fact that these bandits could do or to go to that length, but it's quite unfortunate. I've always said it here on this program that our security architecture in Nigeria has totally collapsed. And it's just showing to the extent to which it has collapsed. And nowhere in the country is safe anymore. Before it started like, oh, it was in the northeast. Don't worry, it's
not
Boko
going to
Haram.
creep into the other regions.
Now it's everywhere. It's in the west, it's in the south, it's in the southeast, it's everywhere. And no single place is safe anymore.
One of the most peaceable cities ever was Abuja. But now, even when you're
crazy.
driving,
the seat of power. Abuja is where the seat of power is. And so if people could breach security in Abuja, then where else is safe? I mean,
honestly, this government should accept the fact that they failed. Because honestly, this is beyond me.
I agree. They should acknowledge that they have totally failed in many ways that one can even imagine. Because I mean, if you cannot provide security of lives and property to the common citizens, what else are you giving them? The economy is bad. No security, no power in a country as big as Nigeria.
And the funny thing, Abule, is this. They make it seem like it's so insurmountable, like it cannot be clamped down, security cannot be fixed.
Which is not true.
How are other countries doing it? Why can't we learn?
Smaller countries with smaller populations, with even less resources than the ones we have in this country, have better security and have survived through the years.
Egypt?
I mean, there are many examples.
It's a scary thing.
Examples. So what is it that is so hard for our government to do? I mean, for the past 8 years, 7 years plus, we Nigerians have been crying out every day that, oh, this thing is eating us up. I mean, look at our agricultural sector. Our economy is just derailing because of insecurity. People can no longer go to the farms. They don't go to the farms anymore. I mean, the number of farmers that have been killed, hacked down in their farms.
I don't even understand why we can also have strict border patrol measures put in place, because allegedly most of these bandits, they say they're from Niger.
Who invited them?
So it's.
I mean, they didn't just come to Nigeria and say, oh, Nigeria has become a safe abode for us. Something brought them in, and they found out loopholes of how they will keep coming back to perpetrate these evil acts. And let's even look at it that, okay, they are foreigners. What is Nigeria so loose now that we cannot protect our borders? We cannot protect us, and then people from outside come in to do all this mayhem and go away? I mean, now that it has gotten to the presidential convoy, I hope this sends a message to them that, man, there's no safe haven for anybody
But would
anymore.
it?
I don't know,
As long
man.
as they have access to travel to London and Dubai and, get their second homes, they're good.
It's sad. It's sad. We really hope that something is really done drastically. Like Natasha rightly said, if you're out there watching this, it's really a cry for you to get your PVC. It's a big call out for you to get your PVC and ensure that you vote your conscience. I mean, look around you. It just tells you that even the next elections, these leaders have already planned how the next 4 years or 8 years is going to be for us. They're already planning to keep us in the same place. But it's only people that can see the future and that are willing to take it that will be able to, change the situation of Nigeria. So get your PVC and be very decisive on how we move or make our next steps. All right, moving on. Well, pardon us. This it really gets me really
I
emotional.
mean, it's security. So
Gets me really emotional when these matters like this come up. I mean, we are beginning to accept the abnormal to be normal, and I mean, that's not just right. We know that it could be better. All right, we'll move on to the next paper, and that would be the Guardian newspaper for today, the 6th of July, 2022. And the headlines there, it says, Railway workers pressing strike, urge prompt resolution of ASU impasse. Details of that you get on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. We also see here, telcos risk 250,000 naira fine over abandoned tower under new guidelines. All right, then we see here terrorists kill FCWA pastor. 3 others kidnap 8 in Kaduna. And as the major headline here, it says PDP awaits Atiku-Ayu to settle crisis. Okowa, PDP already mending fences. Issue of my certificate politically motivated. We won't beg Wike, says PDP Board of Trustee member who met Rivers governor in Turkey. Drop Okowa as a running mate, lose Igbo votes. Ohaneze youth won Atiku, PDP speaking there. All right, then at the bottom part, we take this point. It says Nigerian firms stake $20 billion amid uncertainties in oil sector. All right, back to you, Natasha. So there's this other story about the PDP. They're back in the news. I mean, they've all been there, and we'll really understand why that has been. So Nigerians are really eager as to who becomes the next set of leaders of this
Come
country. Yes,
2023.
come 2023 general elections. And the PDP, the APC, and now the Labour parties have been the major focus within the last few months. A lot of talk about, the presidential candidates that have emerged from these 3 political parties. It's not that they are the only political parties, but they are like the 3 top contenders for the seat. And that's the PDP has had this issue about the running mate matter, where it has been between Okowa and Wike. And the former, that's Okowa, is the present choice of Atiku as the running mate for him, but it has resulted to a lot of backlash. And then recently, this is also coming up. It still seems as if the House of PDP are still having a bit of crisis and unsettled
they're definitely
issues.
divided.
Yes, about Wike. Wike has been very quiet about it. We've come to we've seen a lot of analysis on why he's quiet and what he plans to do next. Plenty talks about it. So my question is, what do you think is happening? Now they say they are waiting for the board of the working committee chairman to return to settle the crisis. Do you think they will have a final settlement when Ayu finally returns? And do you think Wike is going to entertain this kind of settlement? Do you see the PDP House, resolving this issue?
It's for me, it is a distasteful thing that at this point in time, the PDP doesn't have their house together.
Yeah.
If you do not have your house together at this point in time, how do you want to be able to unseat the ruling party already? So honestly, we know that there are words on the out there that Wike felt slighted by not being picked for the VP slot. But you know that there's a video out there where Wike categorically stated that he doesn't want to come out as a VP candidate, that he's not rooting to be VP, that he's rooting to be the number one citizen of the nation. So you have come out to blatantly say that, and then Atiku gets to pick someone else, even though there was a committee set, and majority of the committee picked Wike over Okowa, but allegedly some other PDP members are saying that was not the only committee that was set aside to decide who gets the VP slot. That another committee was set in place, and that committee picked Okowa. So there's a lot of diversive conversations, happening within the PDP, and everybody is apprehensive. Everybody feels a type of way because of the silence of Wike. Wike absolutely knows the game he's playing. He knows the game he's playing. That's why he has been quiet, and then everybody seems to be visiting him. The other day, it was said that Atiku was sending a delegate to go beg him to go visit him. We still do not know what the outcome of that visit was. But I think that the National Working Committee chairman, Ayu, stepping in to try to quell things. I think it's a step in the right direction. Even though it would be more advisable that Atiku himself tries to fix things with Wike. But the crisis is what it is. But I know that eventually they'll sort it out. Politics is what it is. Everybody's fighting for their best interest. But at the end of the day, Wike has categorically stated that he's all for the party, and he's going to actively canvass for whoever comes out. And now we know it's Atiku and Okowa, but let's see how it goes. It's looking like people are already saying he should drop Okowa to pick Wike, but that's going to be also dicey at the end of the day. But we'll see how it all goes. We cannot overemphasize the fact that Wike has the popularity.
He does.
He does have that. And he can be able to pull a certain crop of people to turn out en masse to vote for PDP. I don't know so much. Okowa has some clout, but I'm sure we cannot be able to compare both. But when it comes to temperament, I mean, if you look at that, having Wike as your running mate is going to be a whole lot of trouble.
But for that, in terms of the temperament, a lot of people have also come out to say that with where Nigeria is at the moment, I mean, we need
that kind of temperament is needed.
We need somebody like Wike that is really dogged
but
and fearless.
But not when you're seconding someone. You want to be able to trust the fact that if I tell you to do ABC, you're able to do that and not quickly go to C.
True, because that's the seat of the VP. He doesn't have that much power. And then you're like the assistant to your boss, so you have to take instructions from your boss. So I guess that's where they were looking at the whole thing from, saying that if Wike comes under Atiku, he's not going to be a loyal,
there might seem to be some kind of interaction. So
and then because of his personality, there might just be this clash every now and then because you want to do things that his own way and all of that. Well,
but I know that they'll sort it out. Politics is what it is. At the end of the day, when they have reasonable conversation, we'll see a headway. But I really do not see Wike leaving the party to go to another party. I think that would be the biggest political tactic or game of the year. Like if he actually does move to another party, it will be a shocker.
And it's going to really shake a lot of tables. Well, I agree with you. They need to put their house together and on time too. Personally, I think they've been making some mistakes, but I don't know what their game plans are. But we are watching. Nigerians are watching. Everybody's watching. And 2023, I really cannot wait. I can't say
this has been one of the most unpredictable elections.
So true.
A lot of things happen
this very 1 year. A lot has changed. Have you heard the numbers of people that get registered every day? It's changing the entire game.
People are tired.
Like before.
People are tired. People are fed up.
Yes. In their thousands daily, people have been registering, and INEC keeps giving the figures. The last I heard, they have registered over 15 million more people on the platform. That is a very significant number. I mean, if you have not gotten your PVC, you need to get yours, and you need to jump on this
But Abule, you
Yeah.
know, something also I've been saying recently is it's not only just about getting your PVC.
Yeah, you need to come out and vote.
There were certain criteria we should look out for. There's certain values we should look out for. In fact, there's certain sectors in our nation that ought not to be overlooked. Certain things that are happening. If these people have a plan in those categories, those are the people we should look out for. If they have a plan for security, if they have a plan for the economy, if they have a plan, you know, to bring in foreign investment, if they have a plan to curb unemployment,
Yeah.
if they have a plan for the powers, you know, education. These are the things we should look out for. So one thing that I'm really anticipating is I hope that there actually is a presidential debate. So we can actually be able to hear the live streamed manifesto of these people.
Because for some time,
I'm really hoping
like
for
in
that.
2019, most of the presidential candidates, you know, boycotted these debates. They say they don't want to get involved. There's nothing like they put out their manifesto, and if you want to know about their plans, you go and check it out. Man, you don't say that to your employer. You know, the voters, Nigerians, are the employers of these people. But they seem to have turned it around. So they decide what they want as against what your employer wants. I mean, these are things that we need to learn from. All right, thank you for that in-depth analysis. Moving on, we'll go to the Nigerian Tribune for today, the 6th day of July, 2022. Let's start from the top part of that paper. It says, your absence from investigative hearing attempt to frustrate House probe. Speaker tells CBN NNPC as Rep summon Silva Kyari orders over fuel consumption probe. Let me take that again. It says, your absence from investigative hearing attempt to frustrate House probe. Speaker tells CBN NNPC. All right, controversial 4.194 trillion naira subsidy payment. Accountant General's office opens up. Details also that we see deduction of subsidy from SARS in breach of 1999 Constitution. Reps speaking there. LCCI advocates fuel subsidy removal, increase domestic refining. Details of all of that you find on page 5 and 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Also, we see here, we will call off strike immediately if federal government accepts Utah's honors 2009 agreement. ASU speaking there. All right. We also see workers threaten to shut down port operations at Nigeria's largest containers terminal. That you find on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. As the major headline here on the Nigerian Tribune, you see terrorists attack Buhari's advance team in Katsina. Ambush, kill area commander, one order. 12 killed as bandits, vigilantes clash in Plateau. Details of that is on page 2 and 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Also, we see here Atiku's absence amid crisis causes anxiety among PDP stakeholders as Ayu faces move to oust him. Missing certificate. I had second best result in 1976. Okara speaking there. So get details of all of that on the Nigerian Tribune. So pick up a copy and read up the details. All right, moving on. The ASU matter is still on our reports. And here, ASU is saying that the federal government should accept the Utah's mode of payment and also honor their 2009 agreement, and they'll resume soon. Why do you think it's been so difficult for federal government to comply to the demands of this lecturer? I mean, that's taken so long.
It is unfortunate that everybody seems to be canvassing for the presidential ticket, and people seem to be much more vested in the 2023 elections and forgetting that our students are still at home. They have been at home for more than 4 months, if not more than 5 months. It is appalling. It is appalling. This is something that should not be, because we ought to prioritize education. We ought to prioritize the so-called future of tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know? But unfortunately, the federal government is pretty lax about it. Now, coming to the whole UTIS mode of payment, ASU has said we have generated this mode of payment that we know is favorable to us. They have said that it is anti-corruption, it is anti-ghost worker setup, you know, where you get to pay people that are not there and all that. And they have said that the IBPAS is actually prone to corruption, is ghost worker friendly and all of that. They have given their reasons why they would rather the UTS mode of payment than the IPPIS. So I don't know why it's such a huge drama, why it's such a huge problem for the federal government to basically accept this. They're saying that actually the UTS is a homegrown mode of payment platform, while the IPPIS is apparently based in the US, and then they are the ones who handle payments in most ministries, and now they want that to be with our universities. So I don't know why that is such a problem. Not just do this and incorporate UTAS into it, or let's say give it a try. Give it a try. Give UTAS a try, and if it's not working out, then you can reincorporate it back to the IPPIS.
Yeah.
But I think the major focus right now should be, should we really be going on with this back and forth? Every other year, it seems like one major strike that we will always experience is the ASU strike.
Yeah.
Why can't we just get it set up once and for all and keep it moving? Students have been, extra years have been added to students. Like, why are we not looking at the how do I put it, the disadvantages that this strike is causing our youth? After the FJ would say that youths are lazy, there's cybercrime and all of that, but
Because you're giving them the
they're
chance to
idle.
get in things. I mean,
So,
more.
so why not do the needful?
Yeah.
Check it out, check the process out. If it actually is not working and it's actually it's aiding corruption, then why not reintegrate it? Create clauses around this agreement. So it's just horrible. It's
Yeah.
a horrible.
From 2009 till date, they've been about the same matter. The same agreement was signed by the federal government and ASU, and then one come back to say we cannot honor these agreements. How do you do that? I mean, it just shows the highest level of insensitivity from the part of the government. And the people that are, feeling the pain of all of this fight, I call them the battle of two elephants. It is the students. These innocent students, most of them must have lost faith in the system and may not return to school anymore. I mean, 5 months, it's a long time.
It is horrible.
I mean, I remember during my time in university, I think I spent about, about almost 5 months at home. And within that period of time, by the time I got back to school, I'd forgotten everything I've done in my first and second year. This is the situation of a lot more students there. For the ones that are not having the enablement to maybe learn a trade or learn something, they
skill.
get involved in criminality. Why, like you said, why are these people not thinking about the adverse effect of this strike?
And if this thing has been ongoing since 2009, I remember like 15 years to now, 10 years before now, these strikes have been coming up every other time. So that means something is not
And
happening right with our education.
the interesting part is that ASU has been striking on the same matter within the last 10 years.
It is.
On the same matter. It's not like they are striking on a different matter that come out. It's the same thing, the same payment method, the same agreements reached between them and the federal government that the federal government has refused to honor. Ministers of education come in, ministers of labor come in and go out. And they have been unable to resolve
And
this.
Abule allegedly, in order to service IPPI, said that the federal government spends over 5 billion to service the IPPIS. And they're saying that UTAS is less expensive, in order to service, maintenance and all of that. So I don't understand what the real bone of contention is right now.
Yeah.
It's
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that, like I always say, that our government are even more sensitive and more empathic to really, resolve these issues and on time. It is understandable that governments all over the world have their issues. They have challenges like this one and many others that do. But the ability of any government to resolve these matters on time and get the system working again, it just shows that yes, you are about the people. This one, it's clear that they are not about anybody, or they are about themselves.
And this is one of the major things that we ought to even look out for in the 2023 elections.
Exactly, I totally
People
agree.
who have vision for the educational sector. It's so important.
Yes,
It's so
I
important.
totally agree.
Because every other year we see our youths living in droves abroad to go school. you are letting them go to another foreign land and utilize themselves over there and give their skills, their talents, and we back at home will celebrate them when they actually can be able to, finish school on time here and thrive and get jobs to do. It is.
It's very, very unfortunate.
And the long-term effect is really
It's
detrimental to the
unimaginable.
nation.
I agree with you. I want to thank you so much
Yeah,
for
I
coming
know. There's
on
a
the
lot.
program. There's a lot to talk about. And then sometimes when I talk about these things, I really get emotional because, I mean, if I look around me, the ripple effects of all of these are just all over the place. In talking about the economy, you go to the supermarket these days with 20,000 naira, and it's as if you went in there with 5K.
And everywhere you turn, everybody's talking about
The
the
same
easiest
thing.
way to Canada or Australia.
Oh, that one.
Everybody seems to be
I can't
leaving.
count how many
It is
of
horrible.
the persons I know that have left. In fact, it always comes like a shock. At the first time when I get the news, I'll be like in shock, like, you really leaving? But now I'm like, oh, you too? Because that's like the thing. I mean, some days ago, my neighbor just called up and said, guy, I'll be leaving next week. I was like, where are you going to? Did they transfer you? He said, no, I'm leaving the country. And I'm like, wow, you're living with who? Alone? He said, no, my entire family. And that has been the case. And I don't know. It's sad because if everybody's leaving, I don't know what will become of us that are here and say, oh, we are patriotic, we love our country.
Well, tomorrow just might be hearing that I'm leaving as well.
Don't leave me here. I'll hold your bag. All right. Thank you very much once again, Natasha. And our viewers want to thank you so much for staying with us on the newspaper review. I hope you've enjoyed your time here. Don't forget that you can also drop your comments and your reactions on the comment section under this video. But to do that, you need to also subscribe to this channel. So do well to subscribe to our channel and all our other social media, platforms as you stay connected to us. Till next time I come your way again, my name is William Sabule, and this has been the Newspaper Review. See you next week.